I wanted to do a small little video here, kind of talk to you guys about some things, just kind of chill out after work. I ended up driving today, um, you know, which was fun. It's been a while since I drove, so that was a nice change of pace for me for a little bit there. We also picked up a new trailer, so I just want to kind of show you guys kind of some of the things to think about and some of the things to just compare. I'm going to measure this old trailer right here. If I remember right, the deck is 25 feet, 24 feet, 24-foot deck on the old trailer, and the total length is 30 feet. Yeah, so this is my old tilt deck. It's a 20-ton, right? It's got a 2-axle tandem. Those are tandem wheels right there. I picked that up for $5,000. When did I pick that up? Shoot, it's been like 3 years now. I think maybe 4 years now since I picked that up. And I bought that for $5,000 from a guy up in Hoquiam. Old guy retiring, and the lid was busted off of it, and it was leaking oil out of one of the wheel seals. The guy just had a random bottle of gear oil that he gave to me with it. And so anyways, we picked up so that trailer also, it's a 1980 or a 1981 Miller. The trailer we picked up is a 97, so 17 years newer, right? It's a 3-axle trailer. I also got done greasing the trucks. While I'm walking over there, I heard Justin bought his trailer for $20,000. It's this beaver tail with ramps. Apparently he paid $20,000 for it. I just think that was ridiculous that you paid that much money for that trailer. And $20,000 for that high track dozer, dude. That's like a $15,000 dozer all day long. It's probably clapped out. The idlers are probably worn, and also another tip, Justin, the sprocket, if the sprockets are pointy and sharp, replace that. If it could cut you, replace it. You'll have problems if you don't. Just some things to think about. Is he who on YouTube? Yeah, I'm still here. It probably just froze. Yeah, I think he's still on YouTube. I don't see why he wouldn't be. I mean, unless he, is busy doing racehorse stuff, I guess. I don't know. Oh, come on. Oh, let me see if I can find a good spot to frickin' measure this. Okay, good. Yeah, I was like, I think I'm fine. There we go. That's a good spot. Yeah, I don't watch his channel anymore, but people message me all the time. And every now and then I'll see like an Instagram post. Somebody will send it to me or something. Okay. I'm just going to do this. Okay, so the deck on this one is roughly 8 feet. 28 feet. And then you got another, let's see, how long is this? Another 10 feet for the tongue. So we're looking at 40 feet versus 30 feet. So this is this trailer is 10 feet longer. Okay, so this is our new, right? Right, Morgan? I just think it's funny that people still message me about them, you know? Anyways, this is the trailer. 40 feet long, 30-foot deck, and then it's got a 10-foot long tongue. I just got done greasing everything. It's got a, this is a high speed, and this is a slow speed. So if you wanted to put another one of these on the opposite side, actually, I don't even know if that'd be smart to put one on, because then you'd have to figure out where to put it so it doesn't, you know, when it's spinning, when you're spinning this, it doesn't affect it. But one thing I need to do to this is this handle right here is missing a little piece right here that you grab onto, but it's still easy enough to, you know, unlatch it and latch it even without it. But I'm still gonna fix it. You know, it's just something that's little that would get annoying. So 25 ton. It's got grates, so you can put things in there. This is a 1997. Let's see if there's a plate on here somewhere. I don't have the paperwork with me. I don't see a plate on here. On my other trailer, there's like a little metal plate stamped. I don't know where it is. But anyways, so this is it. It's got 3 axles. They're duals, right? It's got Mexicans on the front axle and on the rear axle. And then it's got service cans on the middle axle. Yes, JST cheerleader. Yes, I paid cash for it. Paid 100%. Well, not cash. I wrote him a check, right? Same thing as cash, right? One thing I like about this, yeah, we're keep busy. One thing I like about this tilt deck that I did not like about my other one is, like, I can stand on this and I weigh enough to tilt it down. I also weigh enough to walk up here and tilt it down this way, which my other trailer, I was not heavy enough. It was not balanced as well as this one, right? So that's a really cool, I'm very happy about that. But, you know, and another thing, check that out. I can get off of it. It still is down low enough. I can still crank that thing. Let me show you. I can still crank it and pull it down. Okay. You can see she's going to start pulling down pretty soon here. Yep, she's going down. This is kind of the way you do this, you know, until I install that handle that'll make it a lot easier. Anyways, this is a 25 ton. So I can legally haul a let's see. I think I can haul like a 220 on this. Maybe a 300. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the weight of those excavators are, but I know I can haul quite a bit, 25 tons. But anyways, such a nice trailer. I got a really smoking hot deal on it. Picked it up for 4,500 bucks cash. 4,500 bucks. One or two of the lights don't work, I think, but that'd be an easy fix. Lights are easy. All the tires are great except for let's see. I think this back axle. Oh, no, they're good on this side. Oh yeah, this tire. That tire is a little it's got a small flat spot on it right there. So that's gonna need one new tire. It's got these nice D-rings. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tie down points, right? License plate's way under there. It's got mud flaps. Let's see, the other tire that needs to be replaced. Look, this one's pretty good. That one right there. That one right there is pretty worn down. This one's still got a smidge of life left in it. And then the front axle is pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so that's where we're at right there. Oh yeah, I checked all of the, you can see the oil level in there. Right there, right on full. All the axles, good. Right? The brakes are good. Brakes are, let me pop this back up, and then I can show you some of the brakes. I will say one thing, this, like every other trailer. Oh, I still got to come out further. All right, give me a second. Yeah, so a 30-foot deck. And one nice thing about this being a longer deck is it's not so steep to load a machine. Like my other trailer, the deck's 24 feet. This is a 30-foot deck, right? So the angle of loading it when it's down is a lot less steeper. All right, let me go stand on the back here. Also, another thing, the deck height is lower, which is a big plus also. That's something you don't really realize about trailers until you start loading them. Once you've owned a trailer or two, then you start paying attention to those little details like that, like deck height. Because, when you got a big excavator like me, like a 120, anything that's not a mini, basically, you need to be very aware of the height, your load height, right? So that's a critical thing you want to be aware of. That was one of the things that when I first bought my first tilt deck, I had no idea of that kind of thing, right? I just said, oh, tilt deck, yeah, I'll buy it. So it's rated for hauling my 120, it must be good. But little did I know, on the deck, they put boards going this way, right? Another 1.5 inches. It brought up the deck height even higher, right? Which, my machines were fine on it. But I did haul this one company's machine, and I was worried. Like, I had to measure it because it was right at the limit, because his machine, the boom, the way it folded in and his thumb, it did not go down very far. Like my 120. My 120 lays down real low. but it was a 08, and for some reason that machine, it just sat so tall. And the first time I was driving, I'm like looking at the mirror, checking the power lines as I go under every single one, because I was skeptical. Like, I'm not gonna be the guy that goes under a freaking power line and rips the power lines off, or goes under an underpass and freaking takes the bridge out, right? I'm not gonna be that guy. So I was very skeptical of that. This deck is lower. Uh, okay, what was I gonna show you? I was gonna show you something. Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you the brakes, but I want to show you the angle, right? So picture this. If that is angled like that, right? My 20 ton is like this. It's easily 10 degrees steeper. Easily. Which is when you've loaded an excavator a couple times, it's not a big deal. But let me tell you what, the first time I ever loaded that 120, man, it was nerve-wracking to say the least, you know. Um so when I did get this, uh the brakes were kind of locked up, right? Which is to be expected with a trailer that just sits there for, a couple months out of the year. So I ended up greasing all of the suspension. I greased everything on this trailer that can be greased, right? As soon as I got it. Which on this trailer, let me just show you what it consists of. Basically, you have a slack adjuster grease point. You have this bearing right here, which is a grease point. And then you also have your S cam, which is right here, which is another grease point, right? So you can see the brakes in here. You can see the right here. See that? That's the wear life that's left. So 1/8 of an inch left of wear life on this particular pad. The drum, great drum. It's not a ridge at all. One of the things you do got to be aware of on these particular trailers that have suspension like this is the spring box, right? Uh, you know, what happens is when you're going down the road bouncing everywhere, these springs, they move from side to side, and you can feel inside where it has worn. And, if they get thin, they got to be replaced, right? That's just the way it goes. Which that's not that big of an expense if you do it yourself. If you send it to a shop, it might be, a couple grand, but a lot of those parts are easily replaced. So, you know, anyways, I just thought I'd show you guys the new trailer. It's got a nice big landing pad right there. It's got the slow speed, fast speed. This bolt just kind of just sat here and rode here the whole way. I don't even know why that's there. Put it in there, it might fall through. I don't even know what it goes to, but never a bad idea to have a spare bolt laying around somewhere for something. So, yep, this is a new trailer for us. $4,500, 25 ton. Realistically, these trailers, the 25 tons with the triple axle, this setup is superior to the other type of suspension because it has straight axles and leaf springs. The other suspension does not have leaf springs. It just has an articulating axle that goes like this. Yeah, $4,500. That is a steal, for this trailer, 25 ton. They honestly, in Washington, you would see this trailer going for 10 to 15, I think. Yeah, I'm thinking, what do you think, Blacktop? 10 to 15, maybe, probably 20. It's a 97. It's a 97. And it's in pretty good shape. I mean, they did replace some of the spring boxes. I think these spring boxes are brand new. Or no, those aren't brand new. They said they replaced something. But the brakes aren't that bad. They're pretty good. Uh, Almost all the tires are really good. 25 to 30,000. Yeah. That tire needs to be replaced. And then there's two on the other side. This one is getting a little low too. But, you know, I checked all the fluid in the axles. It's all good. The thing I like most about this trailer, after owning it for just, 1 day, the fact that I can stand on that end. No, I did not buy this to flip it. I bought it to keep it. It's going to be replacing our 20-ton. This is more suited to haul our 120 than the 20-ton, I believe. I'm pretty sure this is a wider deck by about maybe an inch on each side, maybe 2 inches on each side. 18,000. There you go. I picked it up for 4,500. It's got like 2 or 3 lights out on it. The company I bought this from is one of my customers, one of my biggest customers. And they bought a new trailer 3 years ago, right? So right before the whole COVID thing, brand spanking new. I think they paid 30,000 for their trailer, brand spanking new. And the guy told them, he said, "Hey, and this was 3 years ago. He said, I can easily flip this thing for 10,000, as is." And they said, "No, we're just gonna keep it as a backup." And they kept it, and then it was just basically a table to keep stuff off the ground for 3 years. Basically, just sat there. It was a table. And he said when I was buying it, he's like, "Hey, it's a used trailer. You know, um, it's this is what it is." And I said, "Okay, what do you want for it?" And he said he wanted to make me feel like I was getting a deal, you know, and he was figuring out what he had into it and what they bought it for. I think 15,000 but that was a long time ago, like 5, maybe 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And he because this guy I didn't start working for this guy until I was in my third year of business, or second or third, right? When I bought the Super Dump, that's when I started working for them consistently. And I basically became, they have 2 dump trucks, but I became their main source of auxiliary trucking or rental trucking. And I've been taking care of all of their trucking needs basically. And so he's like, "I'm gonna give you a deal on it." And I said, "What do you want for it?" And he said 4,500. And I just said, I didn't even try and Jew him down anymore. I just said, "That's fair. I'll pay that 100%." You know, and I with the business relationship I have with them, I probably could have got it for 3,000. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, that extra $1,000, I'll make that in trucking in, no time. You know, Even though I haven't worked for them for at least a month, I want to say their jobs have really took a turn for not needing any trucking because they're working on getting permits and stuff like that. But oh, Let's just go walk over and show you the trucks while we're here. But yeah, I like the trailer. So far, I like the deck height. I like the angle of loading. I like the, 3-axle suspension. It should be, better for hauling my 120 around. Yeah, I'm excited about using it. Very excited, to say the least. So we're probably going to sell our 20-ton. So I just greased everything today. I mean, you can see the grease everywhere. Freaking greased everything. All the S cams, all the slack adjusters, all the kingpins. So on this Watson Challenge, you got top kingpin, you got the bottom kingpin, you got the S cam and the slack adjuster, and then you also got the bottom tie rod. The 20 ton is like a 1980 or an 81, I believe. 1980 or an 81. It's an old Miller trailer. And it's a great trailer. I mean, I fixed the axle. We hauled the Mini on it, total of probably about 500 miles. And runs great. It still runs great. But, this deal came up where the guy was trying to get rid of it. And, we've been great business partners. 7,500. Yeah, probably. I could see that. It's got all new tires. All the tires on it are brand new. It's got a new wheel seal. It's got, So another thing. So I just replaced the tie rod. You can see the tie rod's all shiny. We can haul a 315 on our 25K. Can't do the 320 legally. Legally. So 315. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. We can haul a 315 legally. Okay. That's a good number to go off of. Okay, so one thing I noticed when I was changing the tie rod, here's a thing I noticed with this particular thing. And whoever put this fender on, this is an aftermarket fender. Somebody put this on. You can see the other side has a bigger tube. This one has like a steel bar. It's heavier duty, but when they put it on, whoever the mechanic was, they did not check to see if there was any interference between the bracket and the actual axle itself. And you can see right there where this bar was coming down and coming in contact with the axle, basically right here. It was not allowing the tire to turn more than like probably like 4 or 5 degrees, which I'd never really noticed because the shocks are so stiff. It's it's hard to check to see if the whole turning is not impaired or anything like that unless you put a bar on it, and then it's still a pain. But I noticed that, so I trimmed this off. You can see the bottom of it's all shiny because I cut it off. Now it turns no problem, right? So with this front axle, we were having extreme wear problems. It was wearing the inside of the tire so fast. Like I want to say I was wearing out a drop axle tire once every 2 months. And I was like, this is getting expensive. Replacing tires is getting expensive. We need to figure this out. And, since I bought the thing, it had quite a bit of drop axle issues. The number one thing I did was I replaced all the bushings, right? And then I did kingpins. And then I did tie rod, adjusted the toe in. And then I also found out that fender was hitting. So when you buy a truck, that is road worthy, that's what you're going to run into. Somebody that thought it was roadworthy because they're not a truck driver, or they just are like, send it, I don't care. That's what you're going to run into, right? So, we greased that one. We also greased everything on this bad boy too. You can see we got everything greased. This one doesn't leak as much grease out everywhere. It only takes like a pump or two every time I grease the thing. I will say the drive line was a little dry, but we got her greased up. Um, you know, this bad boy's getting tires on Friday. This side right here is wearing faster than this side with this tire and that tire and that tire, I noticed. So I got to figure out what's the deal with that, because come over to this other side, the driver's side, it's not wearing them at all abnormally, and these tires still got quite a bit of life left in them. I mean, you can see right there, you still got a 1/4 inch of life left before legally you have to change it. Obviously, I don't wait until it's legal to change it, because you don't want to start spinning out on job sites and get stuck all the time. You'll end up with more downtime than it's worth. So you just buy new tires. It's worth it just to keep them up. Put new tires on. So yeah, so I'm very happy with the trailer we got. I spent some time greasing everything up on it. We're gonna put a paint job on it. We're gonna paint it. I was talking to my driver, and the last trailer I painted, in my mind, I was not pleased with the color. Like, I thought I was gonna be so pleased with the color, and I got home, and this was back when I didn't have a lot of money, so I paid like, it was like probably $50 or something for the can of paint, and I opened it up, and I'm like, yeah, it looks good. Put it on, and it friggin' turned out a little bit brighter than I had hoped. And we just ran it, right? And it still matches the truck, some of the lettering on the old truck, but it wasn't the dark blue that I wanted. And so I think we're gonna sand this trailer down and paint it like gunmetal gray. Asked my driver what he wanted, and because he's gonna be pulling it, he said, I think gunmetal gray with some orange on it, with like an orange stripe or something. And I think that sounds good, so we might go with that. That gunmetal gray, the darker gray, is a great color for trailers. And put some dark, like burnt orange, kind of like how the new Peterbilt has that burnt orange color. Put that down, put a stripe down, everybody will recognize it. It'd be one of a kind. So probably gonna do that. The deck is made out of that one type of wood that trailers are supposed to be made out of. So the deck is solid. It looks gray, but it's that super hard wood that hardly wears out at all. On whoever did the deck, they put the right wood on there. It's like that ironwood or whatever it is. The trailer is a little bit heavier, obviously, because it's longer. It weighs 10,000 pounds. Let's see. So gross vehicle weight on 3-axle tilt trailer, 60,000 pounds. Scale weight is 10,450. Cargo capacity in pounds is 49,550. And then in tons, it's 24.775. In metric tons, it's 22.4. Boom, green paper, owned it. There you go, guys. Paid cash. Got to have that green paper. Got to have that green paper, man. Because let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you want that green paper. Trailers, I mean, depending on what kind of business you have, sometimes they get used every day. Sometimes they get used twice a month. You know, I feel like my trailers get used probably once every 2 months, maybe more, maybe less. And, you know, it's one of those assets you don't want to be making a monthly payment on it. That's just something you want to just own outright so you don't even have to think about it. It's just, boom, you own it. When it needs some maintenance, you do it. You know, one thing I would like to do to this trailer before I sell it, uh, here's the foot. That needs to be re-welded back onto the bottom. And then I'd also like to get, if I can figure out why that pin is not coming out. There's a pin right there that allows a foot to come out. If I could get that to work, man, let me tell you what, that would be really nice. And then I think these are the two tires that need to be replaced. All the other tires are, you can see, pretty new. This did break. The last job we hauled a backhoe on, that broke. So probably gonna fix that. But see what I was talking about. See the trailer height is is easily 4 inches higher. I want to say 4 inches higher. Another thing is this ledge right here is a lot taller than the other trailer. The other trailer narrows down quite a bit more, so it's not such a jump to get a tracked machine to get on top of it. I need to put a new light cover on there. There, it fell off. No, it wasn't Billy Bob's. It was basically a friend of the family. You know, they bought an older backhoe, and it was in Yelm, and they never operated a backhoe before. You know, and my driver, obviously, he doesn't have any backhoe experience, and when they loaded it, they freaking smashed it. You know, which that's what happens, you know. That's why I like to be able to load all my own stuff. But sometimes that all isn't always, you know, the best option. Yeah, you can see the new hub seal I put on there. Holding oil good. Look at that. She's holding oil good. Still half full. Right there, you can see it. So my repair was 100%. You know, after all those miles we put on it, still good. Yeah, this light blue color, I wish it was darker. I really wanted it to be darker than it turned out to be. And the orange, also a little bit too tangerine for me. I like it to be more of a darker, burnter orange, you know? Kind of like that panel on that excavator. It's a little bit darker than the rest. The other's kind of sun bleached. I did like the way my lettering turned out. I did that myself. But, yep. I might paint this black before I sell it, you know? I may put it on the auction. I may just list it. I don't know. What do you think? Whatever you guys think, let me know what you think in the comments. Should I paint it, or should I just, you know, just list it as is? I mean, if I list it as is, they're either going to have to paint it, or they're going to have to figure out how to get my name off the side. Because I don't want some random dude running down the road with my name on his trailer. You know, I like to keep my stuff mine, and I don't want anybody posing as me, you know. Or if he starts cutting people off going down the road, I don't want him trying to call me up. There's a breaker we got. I put a piece of wood over it. Yeah, probably paint it. That's what I'm thinking. If I just if I just sand it real quick when it's dry out, throw a quick coat of black paint on it. Which color should I do? Should I do black, gray? White's a horrible color for a trailer. What color should I paint it? I mean, it'd probably fetch 10 grand if I painted it, I would think. Pink. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, Blake. Okay. Black or gray. Yeah. Yeah, if I get enough of that gunmetal gray, I'll paint this one gunmetal gray too. I mean, that'd be sweet. I'd love to keep it, but there's just really no reason to keep it now that I have that 3-axle, you know? Benjamin Green. Yeah, buddy. Aluminum gloss paint on one of your trailers from Lowe's. I'll have to look into that. Whew, it is starting to come down. There's my rock grizzly right over there. Still missing a few bars on the right side because they shorted me metal. They shorted me 50 feet. I didn't count it because it was pouring down rain, and I just like, I want to get out of here. Got home, started welding stuff up, and then boom, I was like, wait a second, I'm missing 50 feet here. But yeah, Blake, quit reminding me, man. Quit reminding me how much time I got left. The anticipation is killing me. I can't wait for that crusher to show up. Yeah, that's another thing. I want to paint that red dump bed so bad on that International. Just that red drives me nuts. It's just so ugly. White and red is like, who thought that was a good color scheme? Like, they should have been slapped upside their head. White and red do not go together. That's not a good color combo, you know? They could have done white and silver for the box, like everybody else. But white and red, like, I don't know what they were thinking. But yep, yep. I'm looking forward to that rock crusher showing up. It should be here May 20th. May 20th is when I guess it gets to the port. So maybe I don't know if I'll be able to pick it up on the 20th or if I'll have to pick it up, a day or two after, depending on, uh, you know, because it's going to go from the port. Uh, a container truck is going to pick it up and go to a warehouse and unload it. And then I got to pick it up from a warehouse. So, might be the 20th, might be, I don't know, might be the 25th. So I'm not trying to get all worked up over the crusher. I'm excited for it. Definitely excited. I already got the whole area cleared and set up, right? So this is a staging area for products, right? Kind of like a stockpile area. And then just past the trailer is another area for stockpiling products. Right up on this little pad is where the crusher is going to sit. There's a road that goes up along the side from down below this pad. It goes up and around up to, the road comes up and up to the crusher. And then I got this whole other section up there too. So I'm planning on stockpiling pre-crushed material here, loading it into the crusher, conveying it off. I'm probably going to set the rock grizzly up underneath the conveyor of the crusher. That way I can get 2 products at once, right? We'll have the 1.25 inch minus coming straight through the grizzly, and then 2 inch plus will be sliding off the end. And so I'll have, you know, my 2 to 4 spalls clean, and I'll have my 1.25 inch minus crushed. You know, that'll be asphalt and concrete. And you know, since I haven't sold my old truck yet, what I may end up doing is that might be, you know, I might turn that into a site truck, right? I may end up using it to haul material from this side of my property to the other side, right? For a while. Just kind of, you know, allowing me to better utilize the space I have here. That way I can stockpile some materials up at the front turnaround, where I have massive amounts of space. Back here, it's a little bit tighter, you know. So, and I don't really want to clear much more of my property. I like keeping it all wooded because back that direction, I got a gun range and I got a log cabin I'm building, with my cousin, you know, 2-story log cabin. I haven't really showed you guys any updates on that one, but it's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be sweet. We already got it high enough. I need to mill some wood for the floor, and then I need to mill some wood for the sides, and then we're gonna have to fill in the gaps with the clay, and you know, it's coming along, but it's slow. And then I think I showed you guys the gun range. It's like, you know, 100 yards. I got another building going up just like this one for it to cover it. It's pretty sweet. Sweet setup. So yeah. And that's the other thing, Blake. I'm kind of learning from your experience with yours, you know. Don't feed it too much. You know, so I think I didn't show you the helicopter pad yet. That's gonna be on top of my shipping containers along with my jacuzzi. Once I get the second story up, it'll be up there, my helipad. No, I'm probably never gonna own a helicopter. That would be cool though. That would be pretty cool. You know? I don't think I wanna, I mean, who knows? Maybe I might change some dreams around and go, you know, have to wait and see, I guess. But anyways, guys, I figured I'd show you the new 25-ton tilt deck that I bought for 4,500 bucks. Um, you know, just to show you there are deals out there, guys. You got to look for them, and also, you know, contact your customers, guys. Contact your customers, because a lot of times your customers are, you know, they're upgrading their, uh, you know, their stuff. They're selling their stuff too. You know, just because they have it doesn't mean they're going to hold on to it forever, right? You know, they may have finished using it, so now it's time for somebody else to use it, right? And you won't know unless you ask, right? You never know until you ask. It doesn't hurt to ask, you know. So there you go. At the end of the day, you know, a gyros own about 8,000. Is that a helicopter? A gyro helicopter, 8,000 bucks? That seems too cheap. I wouldn't want to fly in something that cheap. That would be like flying in like in a kite with a propeller above it or something. That just doesn't sound safe. $8,000 for some reason. If I'm gonna be flying in it, you almost, yeah, more like 180. There you go. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like 8,000 for a helicopter. I don't know about that. That sounds too cheap. That sounds too cheap. I don't know if I'd trust my $8,000 flying apparatus. Okay, yeah. If Justin, if you watch this, let me show you what to look for on your old Dozer. Right? Nobody told you this type of stuff. Look at these right here. See how it's flat on the top? It's got a teeny bit of wear right there, right? But it's not pointed, right? it's pointed, you got to change it. Another thing, see these right here, these bars? See how that's perfectly round? Perfectly round. No flat spots on it. That's brand new, right? If you start getting flat spots on it, or it's completely worn through, those got to be changed, right? And then also your idler. This is called the idler, right? This will start wearing out on this edge right here. You want to make sure it's nice and square, because if it's not, the track will pop off. And then all tracks usually have like a grease zerk. There's mine right there. That keeps the tracks tight, right? You don't want them so tight that they don't bounce. You'll wear them out faster. But you also don't want them so loose that they fall off, right? Dozers, the undercarriage is part of the stuff that nobody ever keeps up on it. Like undercarriages on dozers, they take so much abuse with all the mud and grime and dust rolling in there and mashing in there. They take a lot of abuse. Let me shut this in case it starts raining. I don't want my cab getting moist. But anyways. Yeah, check the pins too. I mean, start shaking those cylinders and feeling if the pins are loose. Make sure they get greased often. That's another thing. People don't grease their machines like that often enough. The dozers are notorious for never being greased on the blades. I mean, those blades take so much. They're always constantly moving just to keep the right grade. Make sure they're greased. Because if you don't, they'll wear out quick, especially with all that dirt in there. Never want to cheap out on aircraft when they break down. You don't just pull over. Right? Amen to that. Blake's got it. Blake's on point there. You can't just pull over and, you know, that's a good way to look at it. Buy once, cry once. You know. So, anyways, there's the old 20-ton. We're gonna get rid of that. It's been a great trailer. I really have enjoyed having it. It's been good to me. You know, hasn't cost me hardly any money at all. I've done a couple wheel seals. You know, I think I did 2 wheel seals on it, and that's it. I mean, granted, I only put a couple 100 miles on it every year, but when you need it, you need it. When I bought this thing, the lid didn't work. The lid didn't work. The handle freaking got lost. Just checking to make sure those hoses weren't wearing out. You don't want those wearing out. So, anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned. Are nice. Beaver tails are nice. They both have different applications, right? I mean, beaver tails. The one thing that sucks about those is you got to lift those dang heavy ramps up every time and fold them over. They are such a pain. They're so heavy, and you know, and they're kind of scary too if you load big machines, because when you're going right up the ramp and then you get to that flat spot, the excavators teeter. Careful when you get to that point and you slam forward. And a lot of guys are not aware what they'll do, and this happens. I've seen so many videos on YouTube of this, and this is why beaver tails are dangerous. Because guys will load these big machines to max out their trailer. They'll get up to that teeter point. As soon as they start going up, guess what? Because the trailer has all the weight on the back, what's it doing? the tongue is lifting up. If you don't got any weight in your dump truck, it's going to lift the back tires off the ground and you're going to go sailing down the road. And I don't know how many videos I've seen of that happening. Like, you will go sailing down the road because your front axle does not have maxi cans on it. And if your back axles come off the ground, you know, you're moving, you know. So keep that in mind, Justin. Make sure your driver's aware of that, you know. With a tilt deck, you do not have that any chance of that happening. As soon as you get up and it tips, boom, all the weight's right on the front where it's supposed to be, holding the back tires down, you know. So at least I've never had that issue with the tilt deck, but I know I've had it. You know, I've seen hundreds of videos where somebody had that problem with the beaver tail, you know. So there you go. There you go, guys. You know. Oh, and somebody may say, well, you didn't buy that for $4,500. Let's see. There's the bill of sale. See the amount? It's backwards. $4,500, right where my finger is. $4,500. Done. Deals are out there, guys. You got to look for them. You got to keep your customers happy and, you know, figure it out like that. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you for tuning in. Pound that like button, pound that subscribe button. Check out the playlist, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.